Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast with your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland, or Fetal 1v1 only. You guessed it, it is. Crossing in the woods to the north, it is Caosak fighting for America, freedom, democracy, here with the 2nd Armored Division featuring Mechanized. With Mechanized groups, the 761 is Sherman, mortar half-tracks, cavalry riflemen, and combined arms in the south, it is Sillycat fighting for the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier Division Götz von Blechingen with Overwatch featuring Jäger Light Infantry Recon Squads, early warning systems for the fatherland, Leichter Feldhaubitze 18 and Sector Assault. A Volkswagen Kuwait start here for Sillycat versus Double start for Caosak, and as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them, this episode would not be possible. You can consider joining the ranks by pledging on Patreon yourself. You can donate via PayPal, links in the description, and I should know commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing also helps out the channel a bunch there indirectly. So, all the way off to the races here, Caosak quickly laying down tank traps there as his rifle squad advances swiftly, violently, democratically towards the western viewpoint there. So quick securing of terrain there, Kuwait basically in the east, west side, there we got the German infantry force, the Sturmpionier backed up with Volksgrenadiers, forming up a fairly solid early assault force. Dart truck for Caosak looking to motorize his men against the oncoming Nazi threat. First engagement out to him, there we go, Sturmpionier gaining the rifle squad flying back, then when they're on Garand's, ground the eastern of western victory point there, rifle squad falling back towards the building. Now the rifle squad arriving, but I imagine they may try and wait for the dart truck to arrive first. Reaction there slowly pushing eastwards. So there you go, bit of a siege here by the western viewpoint. Rifle squad suffered a loss, the Sturmpionier suffered a loss, leaving the Volksgrenadiers at the base sort of bleed them out. And there you go, dart truck going ahead, looks like it's not going to use it to assist in any sort of engagement, but rather going to use it to grab points, which he's also quite good at. Focus down the Sturmpionier, I think is tactically very wise for Caosak versus Sillycat. Caosak definitely needs a bit careful out there. We go down to one man, leaving the full squad here with two rifle squads now. Definitely great engagement now for Caosak and can quickly push back Sillycat here in the centre. A lone full squad advances up there. In the west, they are quickly pushed back. East side, we got the Kuwait grabbing the eastern field point there. And we got Leeson up to grab points east. He's in the centre with the sandbags. So truck out there, probably a battle group headquarters. There could be Mechanized there for Sillycat. And these got relations with the Kubelwagen. Though no, the SS and Young actually prefer the Schwimmwagen over the Kubelwagen due to its amphibious abilities. So a little fun fact there. Ground western point here. Got the point there as well, very good. Unless of course you have the Germans, in which case losing ground to the Allies is definitely less good. But there you go, it is a battle group headquarters here for Sillycat. No Mechanized madness from here against the Amerikanen. Got the lieutenant out there for Caosak. Could also call in a cavalry rifle squad, though that immediate ability upgrade with the Thompsons may be less effective. Oh, he does go for it. He does go for it. So immediately summoning more infantry for freedom and democracy. Caosak pushes onwards for democracy, and there you go. Kuwait caught with the M20. Kuwait definitely not ready to combat against the 50 cal. In fact, most combat really. In the west here, the Sillycat launching a force there, two Volksgrenadier squads there to hit up some of the important points there, disrupt Caosak's eastern push by drawing away attention from it. We'll have to see. Worth noting, Sillycat there, not a lot of infantry, so Jaeger's called in here. Might be a Jaeger infantry strike, heavy infantry strike. Let's do that again. A Jaeger heavy infantry strategy. There we go. From Sillycat versus Caosak, which would be certainly interesting. Cavalry rifling force there with their grease guns. Got the rifle squads, the Volksgrenadiers there. So I imagine once he's got the Mechanized command post up, he will start upgrading them, but he still needs to upgrade first before he can upgrade his Jaegers. Fun fact about the 17th SS, it was actually a division mostly composed of ethnic Germans from Hungary and Bulgaria, to a degree largely conscripted as well, and the division actually by the time of Normandy had very little training. So most of the unit, while it had some weeks of training on the individual level as a division, a lot of the elements just never really had much training to like work into a larger formation there. So, little fun fact. Forces they're being pushing back the rifle squad there. Jaeger's grabbing points here. Grabbing the centre of the echelons. Caosak still's got excellent map of his opponent. We also got the cavalry rifle upgraded with a pair of Thompson submachine gun. Almost got the upgrade there. We also got a Panzerstrike here for Sillycat. Pretty early Panzerstrike choice here versus the Americans. Were caught here by the cavalry. I don't think those two Imperial will advance any further that road. Almost got the Western victory point. So far, the Caosak just continues to apply pressure here to Sillycat. We can soon go for another Jaeger squad if that is what he so desires. Again, could be considering the fact that he went for a fairly light tier 1, so that definitely more suspicious that actually planning on relying a lot on Jaegers here versus Caosak. There we go, second Jaeger squad out here. That's going to be like a pretty attritional heavy strategy here versus Caosak. But there you go, Fulton's being pushed back here. Jaegers as well there, unleashing a torrent of lead into the backs. Second Jaeger squad out, though lacking those munitions for that G43 upgrade. Let's see what goes for next. I would not be surprised to see a flak half track, but considering the resource situation for Sillycat, skipping the flak half track may in fact also be something to consider. That said, far up north here we got some harassment here by Sillycat against Caosak. Thumbs up, though he needs to also get the center victory point because that still acts, I would say, as a connecting glue here, though very narrowly. Ralph's coming up, they can grab at the calf point. Still a light tank here for Caosak plus an ambulance. Jaegers moving up to assist the Sturmpioniere. Note that on the western front, Jaegers are actually pretty much non-existent. Jaegers primarily also service in the eastern front. A few in Italy actually also service there for Jaeger divisions, but for the most part on the western front, that is, you know, France, Holland, Belgium, all that, there really were no Jaeger presence. So, little fun fact there. Can upgrade with the G43 now rifle there. We've got the Jaegers with the rifle squad there. Folks will push towards these munitions. Now, of course, the big question is then commit to, say, a third Jaeger squad, which would definitely be something fairly different. As you got other plans, I do not know. Bunch up with the cavalry rifle in there. Back here, reinforcing healing. 2 kills, veterans on the Dodge truck. Kubwagen caught here with the Sword light tank. Sturmpioniere around the Panzerstrike, and there you go, but not enough to save the Kubwagen by a long shot. This light tank completely crumbles the light vehicle up. Unsurprising, really. Panzerstrike gets another hit on the Stuart light tank, causing incredible amounts of damage to the light tank. Jaeger's doing with the cancer out the building. So what will Caosak do next? We got weapon next, meaning bars and bazookas. Maybe mortars as well here to put pressure on Sillycat. More sandbags after the first line of sandbags got wired off there by Caosak. Bit of quiet otherwise in the German base for now. As Caosak lines up for another push here. Almost got the weapon racks ready. Stewards almost good to go as well. He could theoretically try and push for double stewards, but that might be a bit much. But on the other hand, could also shut out the match pretty fast here against Sillycat. Then again on the map here, he might then be better off going for mortar half-tack for some self-propelled artillery support. Plus the white phosphorus can also be quite useful for harassing German positions. So several options to consider for Caosak besides just taking up there. I think under the current circumstances, though, just pushing for a medium tank is honestly probably still just a straightforward and solid idea. Nisa Jaegers creeping up there, but the dart truck backed up the liaisons could maybe do some work there. We shall see. But looks like finding is intensing up firing here, and there you go. Flanked here by the cavalry rifle plus Ralph caught there. Caosak sees the opportunity and strikes here at Sillycat's exposed flank. A Kenma crew there's being focused down there. He knows where the big money is, and that is in taking out the German anti-tank weapons. And there you go. Wipes the Kenma off here. Beyond the reach for Sillycat to get back as well. This is huge for Caosak. He can destroy it, but he could also turn against the Germans. Sturmpioniere annulations there. And there you go. Makes off with the German anti-tank gun. Thumbs up there to Caosak. Definitely a bit painful there for Sillycat, who is of course forced to replace it since he needs more anti-tank weapons versus the Steward under Caosak's command. Also prohibiting then, of course, for spending the manpower on something else like machine guns, artillery, more Jaegers. For that, I can't remember what, which is like, you know, a multiple just stroke there for Caosak. I mean, getting rid of no enemy anti-tank guns, securing one of his own, and of course, forcing his opponent to have to spend the manpower on another one. 5th kill on the way, the Caosak to deal with Sillycat's infantry. Sillycat definitely still in a tight spot. East side, I think, right now be the best place to push, as that is where there's least resistance, though he may, of course, hope to get lucky on the west. Caught the vehicle crew here. And the steward, but lacking any anti-tank weapons here. It's going to be limited what he can do, except, like, hope to get close with a Pantherfaust. Eastward's got the X-Wing to grab the fuel points here. Dodge from the center, straight to the cannon for here. Does successfully push the Valour off the fuel point here. Dodge truck push back by the Kettenwerfer. And then go American Kettenwerfer clears out the sandbags there. And we do get another Jaeger squad out here for Sillycat, pushing him up to 3 Jaeger squads. That's actually quite rare to see an Orbital Commanders player commit to that many Jaegers. So that certainly stands out a bit here. That said, bit of a blunder here by Sillycat. I don't know how he did that, but he managed to like just walk them straight into the cavalry rifle, backed up to turn the jar truck, completely wiping them and dropping the Panther straight. That said, Caosak, for inexplicable reasons, does not pick it up for those, but instead leaves it to the echelons. But still, it's a huge blow there to Sillycat. Not only did he just recently lose the Kettenwerfer to his opponent, but now he's handed a Panther straight to his opponent alongside just the wipe of the Sturmpunier. That's really getting to be quite painful here for Sillycat, but he does keep fighting. He does believe in Endsieg, it seems, but he also really starts believing in keeping his stuff alive and refusing to hand over more equipment to the Americans. But the Gestapo may find it difficult to believe in his innocence. 5th guy trying to deal with the fault committees there. So yeah, right now, Caosak is just cruising ahead here. Full freedom ahead. While Sillycat is intensely trying to get his way back into the fight here. Again, triple Jaegers again could result in some intense bleeding here, but so far, even they aren't quite leveraging their strength particularly efficiently so far versus Caosak. So we'll have to see if we can start to gain some traction soon. Got folks with the Dodge truck in the center. Males want to start taking up soon here. Lining up at least for maybe some Orbital, at least getting ready for pushing Panzers. Caosak, of course, can start taking up himself now. But we'll, of course, have to see if he does that. In this regard, Sillycat probably at least managed to fight somewhat well, at least ensure that Caosak does not gain too much fuel, ensuring he doesn't get like overwhelmed and steamrolled by tanks, which is honestly like a really important thing there. So, despite the losses, not a complete wash here for Sillycat versus Caosak, but he does need to watch out a bit. Trot on the way there for Sillycat, thumbs up, plus take there for Caosak. Jaeger's moving about there. Fun fact about the 17th SS, it was also a division that in Normandy actually had multiple of its battalions mounted on bicycles because they didn't have enough trucks for them. It's a little fun fact there. SS Bicycle Panzer Grenadiers. I don't think we're going to see that in company years though. Anyways, Jaegers follows the theme with the advanced reactions and rifle squads. In the center, we've got Kettenwerfer backed up rifle squad. They're clearing out sandbags and grabbing points. Major out there, very good. Truck out there, probably sitting up here around the car point for Sillycat. Looking to wreck the sandbags there. In the west here, we've got Jaegers catching the 5th kill off guard, pushing it back. Successfully defending the fuel point as well from any American incursions for now. And now looking to flank around here towards the center. Quick swing there by Sillycat, opening up for more troops to push ahead here. Rather aggressive push in the center here. Guess he wants to solidify a mobile frontage around the 2 victory points here, plus the fuel pod and munitions point. Though, again, he does risk handing over the fuel pod then too easily to his opponent in the east. We'll have to see, though. But there you go, almost got it up, can then authorize it. Theoretically, if like swinging a bit hard on the fuel points here, though, he does have a chance to maybe get a Panzer right here faster than Caosak can get out a tank, though. That is a lot of ifs there. Jaeger squad, they're gaining Mechanized 2. That's starting to help there. Mr. Sillycat versus Caosak. There you go, full retreat there. Can authorize. There we go, but needs to get some more fuel secured. And of course, crucially, Caosak is looking to now disrupt his opponent's fuel points. Thumbs up there. Very good, solid play there. Back here, reinforcement healing. In the center, repositioning here. Not much action here, but there goes Sneakman Eastern Fuel Point, realizing that Caosak is not defending this at all. Shifting more force to secure this, I think, is a very wise idea. Also, did he lose the steward? I guess he did, yeah. But saved the crew there. Caosak's got a bit of a manpower float there. Could consider some support weapons like a mortar, another 50 cal. You could also go for more infantry. We'll push him into the 5 squad there, which of course would be a bit much. But I still think it's handleable by most players, and certainly an elite player like Caosak I think should be able to handle it. But again, just something to consider there. Though again, I feel like definitely just should not be floating close to 700 manpower. That one, you know, feels a bit much. Line gun there for Sillycat. Caroline push back with the full gun. He's got the Eagles moving up here. Sherman with it for Caosak. Still got plenty of manpower to spare. Again, like, you know, more camp riflemen. Oh, there you go. Got a 5th gun there. There we go. I mean, just as long as he just spends that manpower on something rather than just floating about there like he's an investment banker home to get like a payoff somehow. It's like, no, that's not how manpower works. Sherman there, halfway done. Two Jaeger squads not veteran, one is close to veteran to one at least. Panther 4 Mollier there for Sillycat here versus Caosak. 2 rock squads with the Jaegers, backed up here by the Fulton plus artillery here. Definitely makes things tough there for Caosak. Note the 17th SS did not have any Panther 4s. Its Panzer Battalion was instead equipped with Stug 4s. And its tank destroyer battalion was equipped with Marder 3s. But it was technically supposed to be equipped with Yak Panzer 4s. But they didn't arrive until like much later and would actually find themselves ranked up into the defense of Paris instead. And did not fight as part of the division. Fun fact there. Sherman rolling ahead here for Caosak, 5th coming out of there on top, quickly routing those goddamn Nazis, blasting him to the high explosive shells, causing complete rout here in the west for Sillycat, as his men, turns out, are good targets for high explosive shells. That's it, the Panther 4 Mollier is almost around the corner here for Sillycat. Should be able to push back there against Caosak fairly well. Sherman, they got the 5th come out as well there. Jaeger's taking a nasty hit there. Dietrich there, blown to bits. But now we got the Panther 4 Mollier out here for Sillycat and the German army, sent in from the nearby 2nd Panzer Division. Or possibly the 1st SS Panzer Division. Another Sturm Pioneer squad, since obviously we'll need them to repair the tank anytime soon. He could also try and build a mechanized repair regiment, get repair pioneers, but the addition of Sturm Pioneers will also present him with an option to say more Panzer Rex. You got 327 to 447. Caosak in a good lead here. There you go, the really deep flank into Sherman. Catching Caosak there, definitely off guard. He was not expecting that kind of flank there from Sillycat, so thumbs up there to Sillycat. A bit risky, but seemingly paying off a bit, though need to recruit that Kidnapper. Sturm Pioneer arriving. 2 squads, 3 in fact, total there by the western field point. Sillycat on the defensive against the Americans, needs to go on the offensive. 5th Cal caught there in the center and is about to get wiped out here by Sillycat and the German army. We got Bazooka Panzer doing up there. One shot goes through, down doing the Panther 4, the other bouncers, or fails to penetrate specifically. 5th Cal wipe is a great kill here for Sillycat and the 17th SS. Grabbing the point here. Scott on the way there for Caosak. Getting the Sherman there, punching straight through the frontal armor. Troops reinforcing healing here. So some self-repel for Caosak, not a bad idea at all. 5th going to be caught here by the Panther 4. Almost got the pin mounted MV-42 ready. Jaegers engaging 5th Cal, but they're just in an absolute hot zone. Then will be forced back here by Caosak's counterattack here. Scott right around the corner for Caosak. He's also got plenty of munitions floating, so some mines, theoretically, some anti-vehicle manipulations could be an idea to consider tossing down here against the Sillycat. They could also have laying down some fighting positions here and there. Or you could try making a push with combined arms and, you know, trying to overwhelm Sillycat here before he's ready. So, plenty of options there for Caosak to consider versus Sillycat. As for Sillycat, needs to get some of those victory points and fuel points under his control before Caosak just bleeds him out down to less than 300. There's opponents with 445. Line for gun there being provided by the Scot. Equipped with a semi-firm howitzer there. Jaeger's standing back on the west. Sherman through there. Fulton is 50 cal moving up there with Jaeger support as well here. Quickly sweeping aside any American resistance in the east here as they are quickly overwhelmed by the tactical superiority there of Sillycat. Quick rushing in forces there. That's it. It looks like it's going to try and attack head on. You could like try and move in here and flank Sillycat's force there. That way trying to catch him off guard. He does seem to deploy some flanking elements, but it does look like also he's just going to be attacking straight like where most of Sillycat's guns will be pointing, which is typically not where you want to be attacking if possible. Quick shot from the Scot on the Jaegers though. There we go, actually flanking in there, catches the cannon off guard. You can see there, Sillycat immediately has to retreat here, as otherwise he's just going to risk losing units to the Sherman and other elements here. So there we go, good flank. Last caught being caught by the Panther 4, Model Yay, close veterans 1. He need to be careful not to bunch it up so much, and I think Caosak realizes this just retreats rather than risk, you know, further losses there, or any losses in fact. Sherman while going close into the base here of Sillycat, almost got the second camera crew wiped out. Heavy fire on the west here, we got the Sturm Pioneer, but the Sturm Pioneers are losing out pretty badly into the 50 cal, backing up the vehicle crew. Sillycat can soon consider Panther 4 here versus Caosak, who is still back to pulling on manpower plus a lot of munitions. Definitely feel like he should be using his resources a bit more efficiently there. Could of course be that Caosak is not sure how he wants to use those resources, but I definitely think an effort should be made. Moving in the Scot there. Hunting down those Jaegers. 5th cal Jaegers advancing the center of Kedma could be in trouble. Also got a signal converter here for Sillycat. Caosak continues to float a lot of manpower. Land gun here doing some good damage. There are no kills yet. Again, bring in. Looks like he's baiting Caosak into extend the Scot here and then catch him with the Kedneffers. Definitely devious maneuver here by Sillycat. Double cam strong to count. There you go. Caosak saves it nicely by deploying a smoke screen while moving. Thumbs up there to Caosak. That was a clever save there for an otherwise slightly egregious tactical mistake here. Sherman pushing up the center here. Could deploy smoke screen with the Sherman again. He's got plenty of munition to do so. Not sure why he's not doing that. He could also research grenades. I mean, that's actually another great way to just utilize ultimate munition with grenades right now here versus Sillycat. Like suddenly getting grenades out there plus smoke could be quite devastating there for Sillycat to perhaps deal with. Bazooka teams they're going out. We've even got the vehicle crew turned into an ersatz bazooka team. Realistically, this would be much more likely with the Germans and with American tank crews who could just like, you know, get another tank. German tank crews, in fact, would increasingly find themselves fighting as infantry. In fact, happening like, you know, in 1942, for example. So, technically, more of a German thing. Panther 1 getting the camp right from there. Jackson is getting ready for Caosak. Jaeger's being bombarded here. Caosak's losing ground now to Sillycat. Definitely getting a bit more assertive here. Not a second Panther 4, perhaps a Panther? Or does Sillycat have bigger dreams that have high velocity 88mm guns? I mean, that's some pretty big dreams. Caosak, though, is not having any of that. He's pushing forward here with infantry attacking some direction. Bazooka teams here catching the Panther 4. Still floating an absurd amount of munitions and still not trying to like do anything with those munitions. I'm definitely slightly saddened with that. Also, only one bazooka on these guys? Why not go two? Just a thought. Jackson tanks are out there for Caosak with the western point here. So we'll have CB also got here the sector assault ready for Sillycat. Opening up for some Luftwaffe support. Panzer full fixed up. Pushing westwards. Grab the eastern point. Bit of quiet here. No Panther, no tech for the King Tiger, so what is Sillycat planning here? Hard to say. Caosak now at 420, almost 30 munitions. Doesn't it feel like Caosak should be starting to, utilise that munition soon? Again, combined arms, grenades, mines. Trot on the way, so he's planning a King Tiger here. Yeah. Not super sold on that, but that's just me. Grab these in front of the cavalry rifle, bring up the centre with the Sherman. 21 kills, 22. Truck out there. But I mean, he's got plenty of sources of smokes. I mean, he could just use the smoke to carve an assault here and then push through, though losing the Scot has hurt Caosak there a bit. And certainly hurt his assault capability. And he could try and replace it now, but again, he might be just one more Sherman's. I'm also not entirely sure going for the Jackson was the best move. I think more Shermans, particularly one with the 7.6 mm gun, probably served him better here versus Sillycat. Currently could just attack better, whereas the Jackson obviously requires some big targets. But also then, once that one tank is gone, there's not really a lot else for it to deal with. Scott on the way there for Caosak, some additional tanks. Again, not entirely sure. Again, the Jackson is a great powder's force composition currently. You got the Fulton of the Lieutenant with the rifles all clashing out there. Jackson engaging the Panther on these Sherman trying to defend the point, but taking heavy hits from the cannon. They've got 163 to 424. Caosak seems to be slightly extended here and there. Go losing the Sherman. Too slow reaction time he allows Sillycat's McKen members to completely chew it apart. Now Sillycat is also floating quite a bit of munitions. Definitely a bad habit here from both players. For shame. No thumbs up, but instead a raised index finger. Waggling disapprovingly. Got the Scot out there. It definitely looks like a Koenigsegger here for Sillycat. Fuel wise is close, but still got some time to go. And manpower wise, there's also some time to go. We're talking roughly 2.5 minutes or so. Maybe a little less than that. As for Caosak, again, there is a lack of clarity as to what he's planning. There's still no grenades. There's still a massive munitions dump here. Like he's doing some sort of massive munitions laundering deal for the Sicilian Mafia. Ground listing points here. Another 5th cal there for Caosak. Still some time before the King Tiger. Definitely losing a lot of the momentum in the matchup from the German side. And Caosak is also just seemingly floundering. Not entirely sure what he wants to do, but apparently really not wanting those grenades and wanting to spend those munitions. Now the 5th kill almost done. Scott engaging. Good hit there. Butler came with quick to return the favour. And the east side we get a movement here from Caosak once more. Another 5th kill ready there for Caosak. Freedom and democracy. Push support to the Cal Rifle and the 50 cal there. Catching the Germans up there, pressing 2 squads here. Very good. And the east side we got the Bazooks catching the Panther 4 here. And most of the rockets fail to penetrate the armoured side skirts, which is kind of what they're there to do. Good hit there. Guns about to get wiped out with the Panther 4 though. It does seem like Caosak is seemingly just not sure what he wants to do. Like, he's got a plan, but he's not entirely sure where it's supposed to go. And sort of like just fumbling about a bit at this point, where Sillycat just knows he has to push the Americans back into the channel to defend Deutschland. Smoke's being deployed here by Sillycat to further obfuscate things here for Caosak. Thumbs up. Closing on that Königstiger. Grabbing the BAR here, so they are bar Jägers. Well, they're Jägermeisters then. I don't know. Moving to the west side with the cavalry from here, Fort Caosak. 500 munitions, still way too much being floated. Scott getting handled like kidnappers. Almost knocking out there again. Turn push against the Jaegers. West pumping C's got the pen forming in there. King Tiger is moments away here for Sillycat. He has to fuel now. He just needs the manpower and the determination to destroy the Americans. West side got the 5th cavalry coming up here. Fifth Cal is the Jaeger seems to got a counter-attack towards the western fuel point here, by being caught up at the 5th Cal. That assault is made, well, not making a lot of what you call progress. King Tiger is seconds away, and there you go. Königsegg around here for the 17th SS. Panzergrenadier Division. Any moment now. Any moment now. Except he's got too many units, he can't call it in. He's too successful, at which point he might as well just gone for a Panther, you know, minutes ago. Jackson about to get knocked out as well here. And that can also be another issue trying to solve the King Tiger. You may actually find yourself doing too well of a job, and so you can't get it in anyways. Which is what's happening here for Sillycat. Jackson getting mentioned to 1. Panther 4 taking a nasty hit here. About to lose his Panther 4. But looks like he does avoid distraction there. Ken McCourty with the full gun. He's in the center. Got the 5th County 10 rifle coming up here. Scott finding a smoke in the center, allowing the men to push forwards, but there's still the Jaegers blocking the way. Oh, well, they blocked the way, but no more, and still no grenades for Caosak. All combined arms are, well, anything. Just a near 600 munitions float at this point. More smoke being deployed here, thumbs up. We've got 163 with 302. The situation for Caosak is steadily falling apart here. I suppose his only blessing at this point is he has made the killer knife of Sillycat staff, so he can't call in the King Tiger, though. That surely must be a bit of a big blessing. And there you go, Caosak surrenders in the end. A loss there for America, victory for Germany. A nice opening start there from Caosak, really highlighting the aggressive play of the Americans, good maneuvering, but again, mid-game, his strategy kind of sort of lost its way. There was a lack of sort of direction, and just, you know, huge munitions float, nothing being done to utilize it. But also I think this force composition had some issues like, why go for the Jackson going for more tanks and then combine the infantry with combined arms and the tanks? Like, really, I think make some strong pushes, which in particular combined with the grenades, I think could make some amazing assaults that could have broken Sillycat. Sillycat, I think, you know, pulled through there with the Jaegers. Definitely not something that Caosak was expecting. Applied some severe pressure there in terms of attrition. Definitely a bit of a rough start, but he again was able to exploit Caosak's mistakes there. That's it. The King Tiger soul could have just been avoiding. He just gone for like a Panther or more Panzer IVs. I think that would help him push the fight through faster than just delayed it a bit more than necessary. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends and family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Links. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.